Drawers. What do you think ancient humans ate every day? Did they always eat roasted meat beside a fire? Or was the truth much harsher than we imagine if you lived 20,000 years ago? Drawers. Your breakfast might be only a few wild berries, or worse, there might be nothing to eat at all. There was no hot rice, bread, or coffee. There was no refrigerator to open every night. Drawers. There was no bright supermarket near your home. One failed hunt could lead to painful hunger. One small mistake could cost the whole tribe dearly. Ancient humans did not ask what they wanted to eat. Drawers. They asked whether they could survive another day, and the shocking truth is they did not eat only meat. They ate roots, insects, eggs, fish, and much more. Some ancient foods would be hard for us to believe. Drawers. But for our ancestors, those foods meant survival. So what did ancient humans actually eat? And how harsh was every meal back then? When people imagine ancient food, they often picture huge meat. Drawers. A strong caveman throws a spear at a giant mammoth. Then everyone sits around the fire eating roasted meat. It sounds exciting, but that image is not fully true. Ancient humans did eat meat when they could find it. Drawers. But meat was never easy to get every single day. Hunting was dangerous, exhausting, and never guaranteed to succeed. A large animal could run faster than the whole group. It could fight back and injure the hunters badly. Drawers. So ancient people could not depend only on hunting. They had to eat whatever nature placed around them. Sometimes that meant fish from a cold river. Sometimes it meant eggs stolen carefully from a nest. Drawers. Sometimes it meant roots buried deep under the ground. Sometimes it meant berries growing beside a forest path. And sometimes it meant insects hiding inside old wood. Their daily meal was not chosen from a menu. Drawers. It was decided by the land, weather, and luck. If the forest was generous, the tribe ate well. If the forest was empty, hunger followed them everywhere. That is why ancient humans had to be flexible. Drawers. They were hunters, gatherers, observers, and survivors every day. Plants were a huge part of ancient human meals. This may sound less exciting than a dramatic hunt, but plants often kept people alive for many days. Drawers. Ancient humans searched carefully for fruits, nuts, and seeds. They dug roots from the ground with simple tools. They picked leaves, mushrooms, and wild plants from forests. Some foods were sweet. Drawers. Soft and easy to eat. Other foods were hard, bitter, or difficult to chew. But the biggest problem was not the taste. The real danger was knowing what was safe. Not every berry in the forest could be eaten. Drawers. Not every mushroom was friendly to the human body. One wrong choice could make the whole group suffer. So ancient humans had to learn from experience. They watched animals to see what they could eat. Drawers. They remembered which plants caused pain or sickness. They taught children which foods were safe to touch. They passed this knowledge from one person to another. For them, food knowledge was more valuable than gold. Drawers. Because choosing the right plant could protect the tribe, and choosing the wrong one could bring serious trouble. That is why gathering food required patience and wisdom. Ancient humans were not just hungry people walking around. Drawers. They were careful students of nature every single day. Ancient humans did not eat the same food all year. Their meals changed with every season around them. Spring could bring fresh plants. Drawers. Eggs and small animals. Rivers became active and fish were easier to find. Summer could bring sweet fruits, berries, and wild honey. This was one of the best times for gathering food. Drawers. Autumn often brought nuts, seeds, and richer animal fat. People needed extra energy before the cold season arrived, but winter was a completely different challenge for everyone. Drawers. Many plants disappeared under snow, ice, or frozen ground. Fruits became rare and insects were harder to find. Some animals moved away to search for better places. The tribe had to walk farther for fewer rewards. Drawers. A normal meal in summer could feel like a feast. A normal meal in winter could be painfully small. This is why ancient humans followed nature very closely. They watched the sky. Drawers. Trees, rivers, and animal tracks. They knew when certain fruits would appear again. They knew where fish gathered during changing weather. They knew which places became dangerous during cold months. Drawers. Their survival depended on reading the world correctly. For them, the seasons were not just background scenery. The seasons decided whether the tribe would eat well, and sometimes. Drawers. The seasons decided everything about their lives. Water was one of the best places to find food. Ancient humans often lived near rivers, lakes, or coasts. These places gave them more than just drinking water. Drawers. They also offered fish, shells, crabs, and small animals. Compared with hunting large animals, this could be safer. A fish could not attack like an angry mammoth. A shellfish could not chase a hunter through the forest. Drawers. But getting food from water was still not easy. Cold water could make the body weak very quickly. Sharp rocks could cut the feet or hands badly. Strong currents could pull someone away from the shore. Drawers. Even a small river could become dangerous after rain, so ancient humans had to move carefully near water. They watched where fish gathered in shallow areas. They collected shells when the tide moved away. Drawers. They searched muddy places for hidden crabs and animals. They used simple tools, sticks, stones, and sharp bones. Sometimes a river could feed the whole group. Sometimes the same river gave almost nothing at all. Drawers. But living near water gave ancient humans a huge advantage, because where there was water there was usually life, and where there was life there was possible food. Now comes the part that may make people uncomfortable. Drawers. Ancient humans probably ate many foods we avoid today. One of those foods was insects and small crawling animals. To modern people this may sound strange or disgusting, but to hungry ancient humans, drawers, it could be useful food. Insects were often easier to catch than large animals. They did not require a dangerous chase through the forest. They could be found under bark, rocks, drawers, and old wood. Larvae, ants, grasshoppers, and beetles could provide energy. Some insects were small, but they could appear in groups that made them a practical food source in difficult times. Drawers. Ancient humans did not judge food like we do today. They did not ask if something looked delicious online. They asked if it could help them keep moving. A strange-looking insect might mean strength for another hour. Drawers. A handful of larvae might help someone survive the day. This does not mean every insect was safe to eat. Ancient people still needed knowledge, caution, and experience. They had to know which creatures were dangerous. Drawers. They had to know where to search safely. For them, food was not about comfort or luxury. Food was about energy, survival, and one more sunrise. And that made even strange foods extremely valuable. Drawers. So what did ancient humans actually eat every day? The answer is not one simple kind of food. They ate whatever nature allowed them to find. Some days that meant meat from a successful hunt. Drawers. Some days that meant fish from a cold river. Some days that meant roots, berries, nuts, or eggs. And some days it meant insects or strange foods. Their meals were not comfortable. Drawers. Easy or predictable. Every bite came from effort, danger, and experience. They had no supermarket, refrigerator, or delivery app. They had only their eyes, hands, and memory. Drawers. They had to understand seasons, animals, plants, and water. They had to share food to protect the whole tribe. And most importantly, they had to keep learning. Because one good choice could feed everyone. Drawers. But one bad choice could bring serious trouble. So the next time you open your refrigerator and feel like there is nothing good to eat, remember that your empty refrigerator is still amazing. Drawers. Compared with the world our ancestors lived in, if you enjoyed this simple journey into ancient life, make sure to subscribe for more stick figure history in the next episode. Drawers. We will discover something new. What did ancient humans drink before clean water existed? Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.